Do you ever work on something really hard and then you look back at it through, either a review process or some sort of editing process and you realize it's absolute trash? I just recorded an entire hour worth of footage on building out some stuff for Dev CheatSheets, my personal knowledge management and social media application. And during the editing process, I got through about 10 minutes of the footage and I was like, this is boring as hell. So instead of that, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the code. I'm going to tell you what went wrong, what went right, and what got done. And I think that's going to be a lot faster, a lot easier for me to edit, and a lot more watchable for you. So if you're not familiar, Dev CheatSheets is a personal knowledge management and social media application that I'm developing for developers. Think of it as basically a way for developers to create and share code and share links to technical resources and rope all of that stuff together into their own personal knowledge dashboard, as well as sharing it out with others. So it's part personal knowledge management, part social media. And the combination of the two, I believe, is what's really interesting. So I've got the code open here. Let me just shut up and talk about that. So what we were working on today was the feed. You can kind of see what we ended up with. The feed is going to be the central place where you see all of your posts. So this is not going to be the feed of other people's posts. This is going to be the dashboard. So it's going to be all of your collected knowledge. So what you're looking at right here is the snippets, the code snippets that for a while did not have titles. So I just gave them default titles. And then they have titles here, and then we've got links down here. So I'll go through the code here. So this is our feed component. Our feed component is going to actually fetch the posts itself from the API feed or /API/feed endpoint. That is going to use your session, so it's only going to grab your posts, and it is going to set the snippets and the links from that result. So if we hop over to /API/feed and we go to route, so here's where it gets the session. So it uses get server session for that. It grabs your email out of there, and then it grabs your links and your snippets and returns those. So very, very simple backend here. It uses Prisma to actually grab all of that stuff. So if we hop back over to feed.tsx, so that is this line right here. So it is grabbing all of the posts here and is making sure that we did in fact successfully get those. Then it is setting the snippets and links state. And it's doing that within a use effect that runs as soon as the page is loaded. Then we've got the function use effect, or the use effect function that runs when links and snippets have been actually created. So here we've got basically a function that's going to combine the links and snippets together into a posts array. That way it can actually display it. Now here's where I ran into my first mistake. I, for whatever reason, decided not to include a timestamp with the snippets and with the links. Now, you may be thinking, oh, that's not a big deal, it's not in prod. Well, the problem is now I can't sort any of these based on when it was posted. I basically have one list of links and one list of snippets. And in a feed, you would want to see all of those kind of sorted by time, basically. But for whatever reason, I did not store that data within my database, which is really stupid. And that's something that I'm going to have to go back and fix. And it's going to be kind of complicated because I'm going to have to create like default timestamps, and then it's going to be a mess. But essentially what this function is doing is it is combining the snippets and the links into one singular array of post objects. If we go over to post.tsx, post.tsx is actually a wrapper for two different types of components. So we've got a link post component and a snippet post component. And it basically will take those in, check to see what type it is based on whether or not it has the property SHA-256, which only a code snippet object will have that property, and it is going to render them based on that. So if we look over here, we can actually do, this will make it a little bit more clear in the UI. So I'm basically just doing this to make it a little bit more clear in the UI. So what I was saying earlier was that now we've got basically two separate lists, the snippet list and the link list. If we hop over to feed, there's no real way to sort these unless I just want to do it randomly, because there's no timestamp to sort it on, which sucks pretty badly. But it is what it is. That's just a bug that I was naturally only going to run into whenever I tested things out. So yeah, we've got this feed. It pulls from the API, which pulls from the database. It's actually fairly fast, like surprisingly fast. I'm not going to say surprisingly fast. It's not that fast. There we go. But yeah, it pulls from the database using Prisma. Nothing super fancy there. But yeah, that's what we got done in about an hour of dev tonight. I'm going to put in probably another hour or two tonight, and we'll see how it goes. If you're interested in Dev Cheat Sheets, hop on over to devcheatsheets.io and you can sign up for the waitlist. Yeah, that's about it. Take it easy. Peace.